We may finally be seeing some of the deep state actors, at least the key actors among them, linked to the discredited Trump dossier testify before Congress. Bob Goodlatte, who hasn't done much as chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, is now preparing subpoenas for the Department of Justice's Bruce Ohr, his wife Nellie Ohr, and Fusion GPS co-founder Glenn Simpson. And joining us tonight, Gregg Jarrett, Fox legal analyst and author of The Russia Hoax, the illicit scheme to clear Hillary Clinton and frame Donald Trump. And I'm pleased to tell you that tonight, that book becomes the #1 New York Times bestseller as of Sunday this weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's terrific. And by the way, this is the only show that I'm aware of that's ever had on the same night two #1 bestsellers contemporaneously. So,
and you said you liked the book.
I absolutely said I liked the book, and I was absolutely serious.
Thank you.
And that's why it's #1. It's very simple. It would not be if I had not said that.
But for you, it would have been number 2,000.
Well, who knows? I don't know if there are numbers that big. But anyway, it's great to see you here, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck. Ready? You know, this business, I have to tell you, I am frustrated. I know you are. You have to be. I think all of us are frustrated. We keep we keep reporting details and perspectives and, certain elementary new details. But the fact is, we know the story, and we've known the story, the basic fundamental story of this witch hunt for over a year now. And Congress is moving at a glacial pace. We have a subpoena power, and I think, by the way, that should be changed. This show should be the first television show with subpoena power. I think that would be helpful.
Yes.
But we are, it just becomes very frustrating. And subpoenaing people who are British citizens with little prospect that they'll show up.
That's right.
What is the point of this? The show must go on, I understand. But also, shouldn't there be some results by now?
Well, Glenn Simpson has already testified a couple of times, the founder of Fusion GPS, who's the one who hired Christopher Steele. So there's this conspiratory cabal of Steele, Simpson, and Bruce and Nellie Ohr. And these are the four people who really drove the hoax through a document that was totally fabricated called the dossier. And they were peddling this to everybody who would listen to the media.
You left out something very important here.
What's that?
The cabal was enforced, enabled, and empowered by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. And those are very powerful actors to include. Not
only was Christopher Steele on the payroll of Hillary Clinton, he was on the payroll of the FBI, 11 different payments. And his hiring by the FBI actually began 7 months before the Trump-Russia collusion probe was officially launched. It looks to me like he was already spying months in advance.
And as we retrace ground, the reality is we don't have any sense that we are closer to seeing what is going to be the fate of the toxic, corrupt leadership of the FBI under the Obama administration, the toxic, corrupt leadership of the intelligence community, particularly those who led the FBI, the CIA. This is... and the NDI, the DNI himself, Clapper. So where is Congress, and why can they not muster the will and the force to actually follow the Constitution and insist upon its enforcement against that corrupt Justice Department leadership and corrupt FBI leadership?
Congress has always been slow and ineffective when it comes to investigations. They're not, frankly, a competent body to do it. And it's troublesome that the Department of Justice, which is supposed to be the competent body, is run by incompetence and corrupt people. And in the case of Jeff Sessions, just somebody who's completely feckless and useless. Rod Rosenstein really runs it, but he, I believe, is covering up his own wrongdoing. He signed off on the renewal of the FISA warrant without proper evidence.
We are quickly moving to the point that the president has to take responsibility here for his own Justice Department, his own FBI. And he has the power, as he said he would,
Yes.
to be to author the most transparent, most open administration. These documents have to be declassified,
Right.
and this witch hunt has to be nullified now.
And, I've said it repeatedly that the president needs to declassify 3 sets of documents: the origins of the Trump-Russia collusion case, which would show it was a complete fraud and that they were framing him without evidence. The second is the so-called Group of 8 documents. But the most important documents of all are the heavily redacted 21 pages of the FISA warrant application that would demonstrate that a fraud was perpetrated on the court, that the judges were deceived and evidence concealed.
And right now, we have a special counsel that continues despite the fact there is no crime.
Right.
There's no specification of a crime. It is bewildering that with all the conflicts that attend Robert Mueller as the special counsel, his appointment, his acceptance of the job, that we have a special counsel investigation at all.
That's right. Not only was his appointment illegitimate because the law requires, the regulations require, a stated crime. This is an investigation in search of a crime. But even worse than that, the launching by the FBI in July of 2016 of the investigation into Trump was in clear, direct violation of FBI regulations. Comey knew it. Comey didn't care. He was relying...
Neither did the entire leadership of the FBI under President Obama. They're no longer there.
That's correct.
As a result. At least that has occurred, but we don't have consequences, and there isn't, at least as far as I can determine, any consequence in law that is punishment for what has transpired. We're going to continue this because, to me, the hammer is now down. It has to be resolved because we can't continue these year-long soirees where everybody is discussing the facts and understand the facts, but nothing happens. And particularly on Capitol Hill, where not a single U.S. senator has called out this Robert Mueller.
But this is how cover-ups work. The facts are slow to emerge.
Yeah, well, we've got more facts than we have action, and we seem to have a lot more talkers than we do doers.
Right.
Gregg Jarrett, great to have you with us.
Lou, thanks so much.
And again, congratulations. Come Sunday, #1 New York Times bestseller.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, it should.